What's up YouTube? Today I'm doing a review, daily driver review, my beater 2013 Toyota Tacoma. This is a base model, so it is actually the 5-lug base. It's like the cheapest configuration they sold in 2013. For those of you that follow the Tacoma, the 5-lug has some slightly different tweaks to the suspension. Compared to the bigger 6-lug, it's also slightly lower to the ground. I think this only has about 3 inches less ground clearance, I believe, than the 6-lug configuration. They stopped selling these in 2015, but it's been a good, reliable vehicle for me. But it's also a base model, so I wanted to review it. There's not a whole lot of reviews and information out on these. These were sold as work trucks. So I'll start off by telling you my experience with it. I bought it in 2018, July of 2018. Had about 137,000 miles on the clock then. I bought it from the side of the road dealership, which, you know, can be sketchy sometimes. But I bought the Carfax, I looked at it. It had been in a wreck, so I checked it out. It had been in a wreck in both the front and the rear. And I thought it was worth the risk. I went out and walked it. No fluids were leaking. It didn't overheat in the Texas heat out here in the middle of summer. And it drove straight down the road, no wobbles, nothing like that. So I figured I'd pull the trigger on it and buy it. The Kelley Blue Book recommended it sell for around $10,900 at the time that I bought it, in the condition that I bought it in. You know, that's rough estimate. Obviously, I'm sure they weren't taking into account the fact that there was an accident. Accidents can affect the price so many different ways. A lot of variables, obviously. But they had it priced for $8,000. It had sat there for almost 3 months at the time I saw it. And I traded in my old Tundra, 2002 Tundra, which is still driving pretty good. I just want to downsize, get something a little bit newer. And I ended up only having to finance $6,000. So this is probably the cheapest truck you can buy at this point. And still pretty new. Like I said, this is 2013, it's 2020 right now, so this is a 7-year-old truck. It now has 167,000 miles on it, I believe, but base everything pretty much. But it's been a great vehicle for me. Let's start off with what's under the hood. So under the hood I got the 2.7 4-cylinder. Has about 159 horsepower, about 180 foot-pounds of torque. Let's pop this open. So we got it right here. This is a 4-cylinder 2.7. Not pretty, it's dusty in here. I don't really clean up my vehicles. I keep up with the maintenance. I'd rather keep them on the road than keep them looking pretty. And this isn't a pretty truck to begin with. But overall, you can see nothing leaking, no obvious fluid leaks. Let's see, you can see a little bit of damage on the apron right here. You can see where the paint's that was bent. This is where the front impact occurred. I doubt you can see down there, but there was a little bit of spot welding on the frame. Looks like the radiator mount had come apart, or had come apart from the frame. So they they welded it back onto the frame. And honestly, I didn't care about that. The frame wasn't bent. You know, people weld, especially on farm trucks, people weld stuff on the frame all the time. But to me, it wasn't something I felt was a risk, so I decided to buy it. And I'm very happy I did. Like I said, I'm at about 30,000 miles I put on it myself in just under 2 years. But let's see, so for mods, the only thing I've done, I've got aftermarket wheels and I've got this light right here. The headlights for me, they're just regular headlights. They're not LEDs or anything special. So at night, out on a really dark road like I-10 West in Texas, you can't see very far. You're lucky if you can see, you know, within a second. You know, the speed limit's 80 miles per hour out there. You're lucky if you can see within a second of where you're going to be in the next second. So I got this LED light bar on Amazon, cheap, works well, and it's helped me out a lot. Also have aftermarket wheels on here. These are alloy wheels, they're XDs. I bought them used. I got a set for about $300. They're about half the price of what a new set would be. So I do like these. I bought them because I wanted to upsize the tire. The stock tires that came on this were about 27 inches. They were 215s. 215/70 R15, I believe. These are 235/75 R15, a little bit more aggressive tread pattern. These are Coopers. I've had a lot of, I haven't had them very long. I probably had them about 10,000 miles, but I haven't had any issues with them. I really like them. And I offset the weight of the bigger tires with the lighter alloy wheels, and I really don't notice much of a difference. I unplugged my battery, let the computer reset, and then after that I didn't have any issues. I mean, I didn't have any issues to start with, but I didn't notice any performance difference. Here we've got the tailgate. This does not have the camera that a lot of the newer Tacoma have. This is a base model, so it's very based out. I got a little soft tonneau on top. Decent bit of space. You can see this is a mounting track system. I do like this on the Tacomas now. It's cool. I like it. I don't know if I like it better than just drilling into the railings right here. Is what I did with my old trucks. But honestly, on a newer truck, I can understand why people would rather have a mounting system than to drill in their brand new truck. So yeah, that's good. That's a good add-on. We also have the composite bed right here. I don't have any complaints about this, but I also don't do a whole lot of heavy work with the bed. As you can see, I just keep mostly my junk back here, and I haven't had any issues. You got these little storage compartments on the side. They're cool. I haven't found a whole lot of use for them. You can't fit a whole lot of tools in there, but I get it. I mean, that's another selling point. If you got a truck that already has some storage, additional storage in the bed, then someone might be interested in, someone might be interested in that. That might be a selling point. But I actually have the bumper here I replaced because the old bumper is all dinged up. It came with a black bumper stock. This is obviously a chrome one I got for 50 bucks on Craigslist. A guy someone tapped his bumper, so he replaced it with an off-road rear bumper. I got this for 50 bucks to replace the messed up one, and it's worked well. As you can see, it's a lot shorter than a lot of the other Tacomas because it's a regular cab. But I do really like it. Here's the inside. I got my saddlebag seat covers right here, really just to keep the stains off the seats. I noticed they were starting to discolor a little bit. It does need a cleaning. I put some old WeatherTech mats that were not for this vehicle. I just had laying around. They've worked great. Let's show you behind the seat. Behind the seat, there's actually a good deal of space back here. It might not look like it in the camera, but I've had a couple toolboxes, boots. I got my high lift jack back here. Just junk, and it holds a lot of it. Whenever you push it back, you can see there's still a good deal of space back here, which I didn't really expect from a regular cab vehicle. I don't even think I had that much space in my regular cab Tundras. But again, manual. Got manual windows, manual locks, really a base model here. Let's see, we'll go ahead and start it up real quick. So they don't offer manual locks and manual windows on any of the new Tacomas. But here we go, here's the dash, not bad. I even have a touchscreen right here. Let's go ahead and start it up. 167,624 miles. AC still works great. We got the touchscreen right here, Bluetooth built in. Let's see if I can figure out how to do that. CD, we got Bluetooth, we got everything, which is nice. You wouldn't expect that in a car with freaking roll up windows and manual locks. Got the light up here, basic setup, nothing super special. This does have side impact airbags, SRS right here, curtain airbags, just good safety feature. This did not come with cruise control. That's the one thing I wish I did have in this vehicle, is cruise control. Where I live right now, it would be nice. But let's go look under the hood again with the engine running. Here we go again. You can see here's my wiring right here on my battery from where I ran the cables for the light bar. Everything runs great, especially for 167,000 miles. I think it runs amazing. Again, no fluid leaks, nothing. For me, the engine is a little underpowered for where I am. I live in a largely spread out metropolitan area in Central Texas. I spent a lot of time on the highway, cruising around 70 miles an hour. And this truck does, I don't want to say struggle. I'll be honest, it's a Toyota, like it'll handle what you throw at it 9 times out of 10. But it definitely isn't a race car. Where I'm at, there are hills, and I definitely notice the hills when I'm traveling at 70 and I need to climb a hill, you know. But this vehicle wasn't really designed for that. This is, again, a work truck, base model. I think this would really shine in, you know, maybe a downtown area with a lot of stop and go traffic, low speed. Also, maybe more of a rural area. I'm planning on moving back to my hometown, where within the city limits, the speed limit didn't go above 45 miles per hour. This thing would shine there. It's also very flat there. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised in an area with speed limits that are below 55. You could probably easily get 24, 25 miles per gallon out of this thing, because you won't be pushing it and it'll just cruise. Now for me right now, with the higher speed travel and also the stop and go and heavy traffic, I'm probably averaging around 19 to 20 miles per gallon, which honestly isn't bad. It's a pickup truck. But I do really like it. It has done everything I've needed it to do. This does have a tow rating of 3,500 pounds, I believe. You can tow from the bumper right here if you get a hitch, but I'm actually gonna add an actual hitch, class 3 hitch right here, receiver. And I also have the wiring harness. I had to buy an aftermarket wiring harness for the tow lights because this did not come with one. Doesn't have a tow pad or a tow package option. So one thing to also keep in mind, because it doesn't have the tow package option, this does not have a transmission cooler. If you can see in there, it just has the regular radiator for the coolant and no transmission oil cooler. So that's something to keep in mind. If you are looking to buy this as a work truck, or if you're looking for just something to tow around on the weekends, you don't want to push the transmission too hard without a transmission cooler, because you might cook your transmission. But outside of that, I really like this truck. You know, for $6 grand, I don't think I could have done anything better. A 5-year-old vehicle with 137,000 miles for $6 grand, plus my $2 grand credit on trade-in. I don't think you're gonna get any better than that, and I'm very happy with it. And I'm sure I'll have it for at least another 5 or 10 years. I'm hoping to get to at least 300,000 miles. So I'm a little over halfway there. One thing I do want to point out about the 2.7, this has a timing chain. So a lot of I know the newer V6s have timing chains. The older V6 Tacoma engines, the 4.0 had a timing chain, but the even older Tacomas, the 3.4s had a timing belt. So with the timing chain, as long as you keep up with your oil changes and you don't really push the engine to extremes, you know, flooring it around and such, you should get timing chain to run the lifetime of the engine. You know, I've seen people on the forums that have the original timing chains in these 2.7s, and they've gotten 300,000-400,000 miles out of them without any issues. But it's important. That's why it's important on these newer vehicles to use the right weight of oil and stick to the oil change intervals. You want to make sure that oil is nice and clean for the timing chain and all the moving parts within the engine to get lubricated and not gum up. But that's pretty much it. Like, subscribe, comment below. If you have any more questions, I'll gladly try to answer them in the comments. I'm very happy with my purchase, and if you happen to own one of these, I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Thanks for watching, guys.